I know we've talked about this during spring training, but there's a lot of gatherings. There's some impromptu gatherings, like what happened on the field today before the Phils took batting practice, getting ready for the Yankee game, or scheduled gatherings. We celebrated Ben Davis's 40th birthday today with some of the Phillies fans who have come down from Philadelphia in a great morning gathering answering questions about the Philadelphia Phillies. And today, those fans and everybody else are out in their seats at Spectrum Field as the Yankees are over for the second time from Tampa to take on the Phils. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. We'll be joined by Greg Murphy in just a little bit. We've been waiting the entire spring to talk about the catching position with Ben. The Phillies have an assortment of catchers in camp, including Jorge Alfaro, who's off in the World Baseball Classic, but nobody is drawing more attention than their starter, and that's Cameron Rupp.
As well he should. I really think this is going to be a year where Cameron Rupp comes into his own. Just 105 games caught last season. No Chooch was here. They really platooned last season. But I think you're going to see Cameron Rupp make that transition into the 135, maybe even 140 games caught. He did it defensively last year. He did it offensively. One thing I wish Cameron Rupp would do is really start to trust himself, realize just how strong he is, and realize he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit it out of the ballpark.
Well, 16 home runs last year, and we said in 105 games. Now, this past off season, because he knew that his responsibilities would increase, he incorporated some yoga to get more flexibility. We know he has the power. We know he can throw, like here against the Chicago Cubs. And we also know, and you need to be this way, that he's a bulldog behind the plates.
You have to be. There's no other way to be as a catcher. Yes, you're going to get your bumps and your bruises. You're going to get run over like he did here against the Reds last season, held on to the baseball. It's all part of catching. It happens. You have to deal with it. You just have to take those nicks and bruises and move on.
All right, so Cameron Rupp's the starter. What's the backup spot look like?
There was some talk about the Phillies possibly breaking north with a three-man catching rotation. I don't foresee it happening. I think if anything happens, maybe Andrew Knapp could possibly make the team because he could play first base. Maybe Brian Holiday can fill in at third base. Brian Hannigan's a veteran guy. What they're going to do is, it's really up in the air, but I don't see them leaving north with more than two catchers.
All right, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out in the next couple weeks of spring training. What we do know is that Cameron Rupp will be the everyday guy for the Phillies. Today, it'll be Clay Buchholz making his third start of spring training. He'll be opposed by Chad Green, who's making his second start this spring and his third appearance overall. We talk about midseason form during spring training an awful lot. Freddie Galvis is the perfect example of midseason form defensively. And yesterday was the best indication of that. Look at this play. This could be the play of the year, the way Galvis pirouetted and threw. We'll get to lineups and first pitch when we return. Back here at Spectrum Field as the Phillies and the Yankees get together for the second time here in Clearwater. Clay Buchholz warming up out on the mound. There's Joe Girardi. One thing he has to be happy about is that his offense is on fire so far here in spring training, particularly up in Tampa at Steinbrenner Field. The ball seems to be jumping out. Let's take a look at his lineup, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. So you look at some of these guys. This is some of the guys that will be in the everyday lineup going into 2017, led by Gary Sanchez, who just burst onto the scene last year, batting second today with 20 home runs and 42 runs batted in. We also get a look at one of their top prospects in Clint Frazier, who's batting 8th today for the New York Yankees, and facing Clay Buchholz. Buchholz, his command has been a little off during spring training, but he doesn't seem to be concerned about it at all. His ERA is 7.20. He's allowed 5 hits in 5 innings of work, including 2 home runs.
He's a veteran guy, knows exactly what he's going to do. He'll sit about 92, 93. Curve cutter change, predominantly out of the stretch now. Will not go back to that windup. Likes it out of the stretch, and he's a little more consistent with it.
Well, the first batter he'll face is Aaron Hicks. Hicks last year hit .217 for the Yankees. And he's 6 for 20 so far this spring. Wait till you get a load of some of these numbers for the Yankee hitters so far in spring training. I know people say, well, it's only spring training, but I mean, across the board. Hicks has 4 extra base hits out of his 6 hits. Got a check swing foul ball, and it's 1 ball 1 strike. Our daily dose of weather. I know it's been snowing and raining back home, but here it's 75 degrees, partly cloudy, and the wind, well, it's a left-hander's dream right now going out to right fields.
And a Route 19 nightmare.
And a Route 19 nightmare. Down low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Yankees acquired Aaron Hicks from the Minnesota Twins. We have seen him in spring training have some days here at Spectrum Field. He did not necessarily fit the bill that they had anticipated last year with a .217 average. But he is a switch hitter, and he's got a world of talents. Just whether he is able to realize that talent. Two balls and 2 strikes to him. And a call, strike 3, right on the inside part of the plate. And Aaron Hicks is down looking, 1 out here in the first.
Good fastball there by Clay. I think Hicks thought he was going to come back with that slider / cutter. He just dots him with a fastball inside corner. Nice job of setting that pitch up by Cameron Rupp there. The home plate umpire Nick Lentz, a good look at it.
So with 1 out, here's Gary Sanchez, who almost stole the Rookie of the Year award last year from Michael Fulmer of the Detroit Tigers, even though he played just 53 games. He had 20 home runs in 50 games.
What he did was nothing short of spectacular.
Well, and I think you compare that to his minor league numbers. You know, he had 10 home runs last year in Double-A, or in the minor leagues, but still, I don't think anybody anticipated he would be the home run threat that he was as a rookie in just 53 games.
And he did so much with the bat, you forget about his defensive prowess. He's got a bazooka.
Breaking ball, 1 ball 1 strike. So last year's home run ratio, he had a home run every 10.1 ABs, which was far and away better than the number 2 guy, Mark Trumbo. The 20 home runs he hit in the big leagues was the most home runs he hit in any season as a minor leaguer. He had 18 one year in 2012. Certainly has enabled the Yankees to do some different things with their catching position because they feel like they've got a guy.
Oh, they have a guy.
2 balls 1 strike to Sanchez. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Nick Lentz, as Ben alluded to, is behind home plate. Eric Cooper's at first. Phil Cuzzi, who had the plate yesterday, is at second, and John Bacon is around at third. Swing and a miss. He slowed it up even more. Back-to-back strikeouts for Buchholz. Got the first guy with a fastball, and he gets Gary Sanchez with a curveball.
Big slow hook here. Very nice. Actually, that might have been a changeup.
Think so?
Looked like a changeup.
Well, excellent movement and deception.
Because I don't know why Cameron Rupp would have been set up inside on a curveball. That was the first thing he gave it away. But it had so much depth, that's why I thought it was a curveball.
That'll bring Greg Bird to the plate. Bird missed all of last year with a labrum injury to his shoulder. The Yankees had high expectations for him. But he has 3 home runs, which is tied with Pete O'Brien, Dominic Ficacello of the Tigers, and Mike Zunino from the Seattle Mariners. There's a little pop-up out towards shallow right, and it's going to drop in front of Saunders and over the head of Kingery. He's now 8 for 19 on the spring.
Batting fourth, the designated hitter number 17, Matt Holliday.
So Bird's aboard, and Matt Holliday's coming up. Holliday's making a lasting impression in his first year with the Yankees. Not his first time in the American League. He was with the Oakland Athletics for a short period of time. One ball, no strikes to Holliday. He'll be the DH this year for the Yankees. Over 1,100 runs batted in, which is 5th among active players. 295 career home runs for Matt Holliday.
It's a heck of a list he's on there. I know he's put up some major numbers in his career, but I really would have liked to see what he'd done if he could have stayed healthy for the majority of his career. I mean, he always seemed to get bitten by the injury bug.
Two balls and no strikes. Last year with the Cardinals, he had 246 with 20 home runs and 62 runs batted in. But you forget that he's always hit for average, and his career average is at 303.
I'd have to think he'd be swinging here. He didn't make the trip to DH, not to swing.
And ball 4, so he walks him on 4 pitches. After getting the first 2 hitters on strikeouts, he's now allowed a bloop single and a walk. And Chase Headley will be the hitter. He's really the one exception to the Yankee offense so far this spring. He's 3 for 17. Batting here with runners on first and second, a switch hitter. Just a bit outside, 1-0. Headley will be the starting third baseman for the Yankees, but they have an assortment of young prospects that play other positions in the infield that may eventually supplant him over at third base. Swing and a miss. Well, that's interesting. 5 straight out of the strike zone, and he throws him something soft. And I guess Headley was just geared up to get a fastball. As we take a look at our Toyota leaders, our spring training leaders. The Yankees have the third best batting average in spring training. Buchholz threw 2 scoreless innings in his first outing of the spring. Last time out, he allowed 4 earned runs in 3 innings of work on 3 hits. Walked a couple. Actually walked 1, struck out 2. I think in some ways this is the way Buchholz pitches. You know, he'll run into some jams, but the hope is he'll get himself out of it, which when he's on, he'll get himself out of it.
He's not going to give in.
See that note right there. And he's not alone in that statistic when it comes to first inning troubles. And a high fly ball to deep right field. It is gone. A 3-run home run by Chase Headley. And the Yankees have taken a 3-0 lead here in the top of the first inning.
Everything looks so good. The 2 quick strikeouts, a bloop and a walk, and a blast.
Yeah, that one had enough on it that it didn't matter which way the wind was blowing.
I think he went back to that slider down and in. Headley does not miss it. Nitro zone. Ball was well out of here.
Yankees take a 3-0 lead, and now Starlin Castro is going to be the hitter. Castro's also having a good spring. He's 7 for 18 with a couple of extra base hits. .389 for the year, for the spring so far, coming off a fantastic year where he hit .270 with 21 home runs as he continued to make the transition to second base. Oh, and 2.
Starlin's one of those guys that benefited from going from the friendly confines, which is very hitter friendly at times. Go even to a more hitter friendly park, Yankee Stadium.
He did admit after the Cubs won the World Series that it was somewhat difficult to watch it from a distance.
Had to be.
After being with them for his career, 6 years he was up in the big leagues with the Cubs. The anticipation was that he would be there for a long time as their everyday shortstop. The position that Addison Russell, the young shortstop, has taken over. The foul ball. It remains 0-2, and the pitch count is up to 24 now for Clay Buchholz, or 25, I should say. Been ball 1, but with 2 strikes, Starlin Castro was not going to take any chances. And it remains 0-2. Yesterday, Jared Eichhoff went 3 innings, allowed 7 hits and 4 earned runs. And then Alec Asher took over for him and went 3 innings, allowed 6 hits and 1 earned run. And a breaking ball in the dirt, 1-2. And just like Eichhoff, you know, the thought was for all these starting pitchers as they get through this turn in the rotation to go at least 3, you know, maybe even a 4th inning, but Yeah, definitely 3. Jeremy Hellickson went 4 innings the other day, and he is the first in the turn of the rotation.
We just like to see them have to, sit down and get back up, sit down and get back up, not just throw all these pitches in 1 inning.
Yeah, that's where the concern would be, is that you run up your pitch count early on. And it doesn't matter if it's a spring training game or a regular season game. Bob McClure is already on the walkie-talkie, and they may get somebody up and loosening in the bullpen.
It's one thing to go throw a 40-50 pitch bullpen, but when you're sitting down, you come out and you throw your 8 warm-up pitches, then you go through an inning, then you go sit down again, come back out, throw another 8 pitches. That's all part of the conditioning process of spring training, not just going and throwing 35 pitches in a single inning.
Will Morris is starting to warm up in the pen. That's upstairs. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Starlin Castro. Left side. Andres Blanco has it. And the inning finally does come to a close. 30 pitches for Buchholz in the inning. And Chase Headley, his 3-run home run after a bloop single and a walk, has given the Yankees a 3-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the first here at Spectrum Field. This team is in the hole now, 3 runs as we go to the bottom half of the first. Let's take a look at his lineup today, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. All right, so it's a little different than what we've seen over the last handful of days. Everyday players include Howie Kendrick, Michael Saunders, Cameron Rupp, right smack dab in the middle of the lineup. But some other guys getting some ABs, trying to continue to open some eyes, including Brock Stassi, who's playing first base and batting 6th today for the Phils. And they will face right-hander Chad Green, who was not scheduled to be the starter today for the Yankees, but will get the nod as he battles for one of the final rotation spots for New York. And he's had a decent spring at 2.45 ERA.
He's a hard thrower, 91 to 96. Was the Tigers actually 11th round pick back in 2013? We'll mix in a slider, cutter, and a change, but he's got a very good quick arm.
And he will face Chris Coghlan to start things off. Coghlan so far this spring 3 for 15 with a double. Coghlan split time last year between the A's, didn't go so well with the A's, and the Cubs, where he had 252. He was taking some ground balls at third base today as he lifts that out towards shallow left. Clint Frazier makes the grab. Boy, Frazier really cut his hair. He had the long red locks, but he ain't got nothing right now.
Have to.
That short, though?
It's pretty short. He had a big beard, too.
Did you have a buzz cut when you played for the Yankees?
Pretty much.
Here's Roman Quinn. Quinn 5 for 21 this spring. And he takes just off the outside corner. Roman playing center field today. Getting 238. Tied him up, and he went. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It is something to watch Roman take batting practice. I mean, you can see Roman's not the biggest in stature, but the way the ball jumps off his bat, it really is something. I mean, he's got some juice.
Quick hands. Gets him through the strike zone.
He does generate some bat speed.
Inside, 3-1. Falling off the glove of Gary Sanchez, dropped to the ground, and they decided that that ball did not deserve to get back in the game. That is a pitcher's pitch with the count 3-1. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Roman.
Well, not the pitch he wanted. Not the pitch he wanted to hit. I'll tell you that on 3-1.
No. There's ball 4. So Roman Quinn's aboard. And Howie Kendrick is coming up, and see Howie maybe take a couple pitches and see if it gives Roman a chance to run. But as Ben mentioned, Gary Sanchez has a very good arm behind the plate.
We'll mix that with his quick release. It's really a deadly combination. But it would be a heck of a matchup here with the way Roman can run.
Sanchez is a big guy, too. He watches as that pitch comes over for a strike. 0-1. Kendrick 5 for 23 so far this spring. Had a nice at bat yesterday against a hard throwing left-hander. He was late on a couple of swings, and then he got his timing down and drilled one into right field for a base hit. You see Roman Quinn actually shortened his lead a little bit after that throw over. At the knees, 0-2.
Green's got some easy cheese, doesn't he? He's out there yawning. The ball just gets on you.
Actually, that Green is part of the battle for the last rotation spot. Brian Mitchell seems to be the leader in the clubhouse right now. But, you know, Masahiro Tanaka, Michael Pineda, CC Sabathia, they'll be the first 3 guys in the Yankees rotation, barring any kind of injuries, as Quinn just gets his hand back. For Luis Cessa, who was supposed to start today, Adam Warren, Luis Severino, probably needs a little more seasoning. Mitchell and Chad Green are battling for those last couple spots. 1-2 to Kendrick. Swing and a miss for the breaking ball. 2 gone here in the first, and Michael Saunders is coming up. Here are the potential Yankee starters, with the top 3 kind of set in stone. The last 2 sort of up for grabs. Larry Rothschild is the pitching coach. He's to the right of Joe Girardi. Saunders 4 for 18 in spring training games thus far, and he lines one into center field, a base hit. Roman Quinn is already halfway to third, and he'll be there standing. Runners on first and third with 2 men down here in the first.
A great sound that is. First pitch swinging is Michael Saunders. Nice swing, gets his foot down early. Right through the baseball, drives it up the middle. You'd love to see that. Phillies first and third, 2 outs.
And here's Cam. Only 14 at bats so far. A lot of times, though, you see managers ease catchers sort of into their spring training, particularly if they're a known starter. And he wants to get work in catching each and every pitcher because he wants to get used to them. But if you look at his ABs, this is his 15th plate appearance. Among the regulars that the Phillies will have out there on an everyday basis, he probably has the shortest list of at-bats.
Probably get into playing the back-to-backs. I would think sometime towards the end of next week.
Trying to improve those numbers you just saw with runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
The swing. Got the pitch he was looking for, 2-0. Tied up here, Cam.
He's got popped the opposite way, and the wind is going out that way. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Michael Saunders will be off and running on this pitch.
Someone tell Chad Green it's spring training not to throw 3-1 sliders.
Ben,
Come on.
Ben, we are 3 weeks into spring training. Man's got to earn a job. Towering pop-up on the right side of the infield. And it's Castro, the second baseman, who backpedals his way into a catch. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left for the Phillies. We've played 1. We're on to the second. Yankees on top, 3-0. Saturday, April 8th, the Phillies will take on the Washington Nationals. It's all part of the opening weekend of activities at Citizens Bank Park, and it's McDonald's opening night T-shirt, free to fans 15 and older. You can order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. You want to explain to everybody what you're so sick about?
Sorry. I bumped my knee again on the counter underneath and didn't feel all that good. So.
Yeah. So you're doing that. Usually you do it once a game, and it's a great reaction for those of us that aren't in the same pain as you are. But today you've done it twice.
So I didn't hear. I threw my headset down, and that's why I couldn't hear our producer tell us that we're back in 5, 4, 3. So that's, I apologize. It doesn't feel good, though. I will say that.
Aaron Judge, the batter, the count 2-0 to Judge. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-1. Well, as we've told Ben all day long, because we've had to reference this because of the number of issues he has had on today, his 40th birthday. As you get older, you get colder, and sometimes you do get a little more forgetful.
That was a good one, though. Wow.
Yeah, that looked like it was painful. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maybe we'll get Murph to go down and get a pillow, and we'll put a pillow on. Murph, can you get Ben a birthday pillow so we can put some padding on this apparatus here that he keeps hitting his knee on?
Yeah, I'm on it. He needs our help for sure. The 40s are going to be rough, Ben.
Yeah, we've been in the 40s.
It's not off to a good start,
yeah, it's certainly not.
We've been in the 40s for a while, so we understand that. There's a fly ball to center field. Roman Quinn waits for it after backpedaling. One out here in the second. And that'll bring Clint Frazier to the plate.
Number 75, Clint Frazier, left field.
Frazier's having a nice spring training. His first with the Yankees, 6 for 21 with 3 extra base hits. And 286. He had only 259 in Double-A last year. Just off the inside corner, 1-0.
Clay just seems to have a little trouble finishing pitches today. When he's missing up. And he's doing that with his breaking ball. The breaking ball has been pretty good today. A couple good change-ups. But when he's missing up. You don't want to see that. You want to see pitchers when they miss down or off the plate. So that just means, it tells me that he's not having any finish. He's not finishing his pitches.
That should find the seats. We'll see as it comes down near the dugout, and Stassi just missed getting to it. I think if Brock had gotten to the spot, which was hard to do, he might have been able to lean in to make that grab.
Well, if someone's going to catch it, it's going to be Brock. He's as gifted at first baseman I've seen. You're right, though. I think if you would have picked that spot out, they always tell you run to the spot where you think it's going to land.
Balls and 1 strike to Frazier with 1 out here in the second. A bit high, 3-1.
See that pitch right there? It's just it's like he's not getting extension down and through. We always talk about extension as a hitter, out, through, after contact. Well, extension from pitching standpoint is after you release, get that extension down and past your left kneecap.
So how would you tell him to fix that, or does he know it?
Just think, you have to tell you, you have to be more out in front, almost like you're going to just reach out as far as you can with your throwing arm and drop the ball into my mitt. See how he gets out in front, a lot better that time. See how he's down and past that kneecap.
And a liner to center field, that'll be in for a base hit for Frazier. So he's aboard with 1 man down, and that is the 3rd hit for the Yankees so far. And Tyler Wade will be the hitter. Wade 8 for 17 with 5 runs scored.
These are Nintendo numbers. 471. It's just
telling you. aside from just looking at the averages, as a team, the Yankees lead the Grapefruit League in homers with 20. Their slugging percentage is over 500, and they also lead in runs scored with 90.
471. I'd like to see a 463.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. One ball and 2 strikes. They have scored at least 4 runs in 11 of the 14 spring training games so far. And they have 3 already here today. One and 2 to Wade. Right field. Saunders venturing back toward the wall. He's there and makes the catch. Frazier was late to get back to tag. There are 2 outs. It sounded like he clipped it pretty good.
It did. Good swing, caught the bottom of it. But still, with this win, I think it still had a chance.
Yeah. Buchholz now has 2 outs here in the second, and it brings Aaron Hicks to the plate for a second time. Hicks went down on strikeouts his first time up. A breaking ball, and that's a little high. It sailed somewhat. 1 ball, no strikes. Interesting that he threw 2 breaking pitches to begin this at bat to Aaron Hicks.
He's very tentative today with with the use of that fastball. I mean, he doesn't have a feel for it. 19 games started against the Yankees. He's 6-9 career with a 5.63 ERA.
Back toward the middle, softly off the mound, and J.P. Crawford decides to throw it across the diamond. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've played an inning and a half. We move to the bottom of the second. It's 3-0. Yankees on top. Happy birthday to you. Sing it in Spanish if you know it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Christopher Ben Davis. Happy birthday to you.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, today is Ben's 40th birthday, so we sang happy birthday to him earlier today at the breakfast we had with the Phillies fans who came down from the Delaware Valley. They were into it. I mean, you only turned 40 once.
That's it. Only once.
He says goodbye to his 30s. Happy birthday, by the way.
Well,
last year we got Ben a steak for his birthday. We can't do that today. But we send well wishes out. What we've done is we've brought your wife Meg down from the Delaware Valley. That is your birthday.
After her plane gets de-iced.
That's right. At least she's on the plane. Brock Stassi takes outside. It's 2-0. Stassi's having a heck of a spring. 9 for 18. And that one's out to right field, and it'll be caught by Aaron Judge. And one away. Andres Blanco's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's with Aaron Altair.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, and Aaron and I were just talking about what a difference a year makes. You know, at this point last year, you were already dealing with an injury. This year, 100% healthy, back and playing very well. You have to be excited about how this spring has started off for you.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's definitely frustrating and very disappointed last year to get hurt that early and be out for so long. But it's definitely nice to be 100% healthy now and playing well and just excited for the season to start.
You know, you worked so hard to get back at the end of last season. Where were you at that point? I mean, I know you were healthy, but were you 100%? Did you feel like maybe that wrist injury was hampering you at all near the end of the season?
I mean, physically, I felt 100%. I felt fine. It was just a matter of just finding that feel, with the swing, and I never really got there last year, and definitely disappointed with the way it ended up there, but. I just wanted to try to get back as fast as I can and try to help the team win. And, like I said, unfortunately, it didn't work out as well as I had hoped. But, I'm healthy now and ready to go.
I remember talking to you before spring training last year and then, a little bit at the end of the year about the excitement that was surrounding you and the opportunity that you had to win the job in the outfield and in your versatility and your speed and your athleticism. Fans are really excited to get a chance to watch you play for a full season. And obviously, you're excited to get out there and play in front of them. That excitement is back. Does that excite you, knowing that folks want to see you play?
Oh, absolutely. And I've been excited for this since last year. I've been ready to get healthy and back to playing the way I know I can play. So definitely looking forward to this season. Wherever they have me playing, wherever opportunities may lie, just take advantage of those opportunities and just looking forward to having a good year. And got a lot of good veteran guys, good veteran presence here in the clubhouse. So. It's going to be an exciting year for Phillies.
You mentioned the veteran guys, and obviously, they're going to get some playing time in the outfield, as will you. So, is your approach any different coming into this spring training as you get ready for maybe an unknown role at this point for you?
I mean, maybe a little bit, just to get used to, come off the bench a little bit, getting a little pinch at bats here and there. But, other than that, nothing really changes. Just still trying to hit the ball hard, and just trying to get the swing down and look for my pitch and hit it.
I asked a couple of the guys this over the last week and a half, but there's obviously optimism in spring training, with the fans and with the players, but there seems to be a genuine excitement inside that clubhouse right now for this young group of guys as you guys all come together. Can you tell us a little bit about that excitement level?
Yeah, I mean, not just this year, but years to come too. We got a lot of talent over in the minor league side, and guys coming up here in the next year or so, and we definitely have a lot to look forward to in the coming years. So Phillies fans definitely have a lot to look forward to, and the young guys coming up.
Well, Aaron, we certainly look forward to watching you play this year as a member of the Phillies, and we appreciate your time as well.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph. Aaron Altair so far hitting .261 with 6 base hits and 3 extra base hits and 4 runs batted in. And what makes Aaron so good from a major league standpoint, besides the fact that he has potential to hit, but he can play all 3 outfield positions at a very high level defensively. As J.P. Crawford takes high, and that puts runners on first and second with 1 man down. And they'll bring Scott Kingery to the plate.
You're right about Aaron, though. He can go get him with anybody. He is a joy to watch play the outfield, and he's just a tick away from really, I think he's starting to grow into that, to learn what kind of hitter he can be. You know, he's a guy that I think is going to develop into driving balls out of the ballpark just because of his sheer size.
Well, and he mentioned the wrist that he felt like he was healthy. I'm sure that it was somewhat weak toward the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
Scott Kingree's the hitter with runners on first and second and one out here in the bottom of the second inning. 1 ball and no strikes to Kingree.
The way Aaron is driving balls, and I know it's batting practice, but the way he's driving balls and backspinning balls out of here, he looks great. He really does.
Quick visit on the mounds with Chad Green, who's allowed some base runners here in the first couple of innings. Did not allow a run in the first. Outside, 2-0. Scott Kingree's had a very good spring. He's 6 for 17 with a couple of home runs. Last year between Clearwater and Reading, he had 293 at Clearwater and 250 at Reading. Three balls and no strikes.
That's not to mention what he's done defensively himself. Second base, played a very good second base.
Yeah, I think that's what has stood out. I mean, offensively, the expectation is that he was going to hit as time went on. But the fact that he's played so well defensively has been really a big deal.
It's been great. Sorry, the ball that Greg Bird hit in the first inning. I thought he was going to get a chance, and it fell in between he and Michael Saunders in right field. But we've seen him make that play a couple times this spring already. His first step is usually the right one.
3 balls and 1 strike. Phil's down by 3. And he fouls it back to the screen. It's 3-2.
See, that right there tells me he knows what kind of hitter he is. Yes, he's hit a couple balls out of the ballpark in spring training, but he's got a 3-1 count. He knows most likely he's going to get a good pitch to hit. He took the same swing. He didn't try and do anything different. He didn't try and juice it. There was no extra effort there in that swing.
Outside, ball 4, and that's back-to-back walks. Third walk issued by Green. Larry Rothschild heading out to the mound for the Yankees. And the Phillies have the bases loaded with 1 out, and Chris Coghlan is coming up. Well, I think both pitchers now are battling their command a little bit. The problem for Buchholz is the 3-run home run. For Green, he's been able to work out of jams in the first inning, or worked out of a jam in the first inning. Phillies need to capitalize here in the second inning with the bases loaded.
It'd be nice for them to push a couple across. Just have the 1 out. Just keep the rally going.
So Chris Coghlan, who flied out to left field his first time up to short left, is up for the second time. The throw down to second base is off the glove of the shortstop Wade. Boy, if that throw had been on the shortstop side, I think J.P. Crawford may have been out.
I'm with you. Ball just tailed on Sanchez a bit. He comes out firing. You're able to do this with the shift, sneaking right behind the runner. You're right, he'd have been out. But that shows you what kind of confidence that Sanchez has in himself, his abilities. Bases loaded, 1 out. You're trying to pick a runner off at second.
I love it, though.
It was off the basket of the home plate umpire, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jonathan Holder is warming up in the bullpen for the Yankees, as Green's pitch count is up to 40. Glenn's took a beating on this one.
They're the ones that hurt the most. The glancing blows, not the direct shot as much.
Good play by Sanchez to keep it around the plate. 2-2.
Very nice play. Good lateral movement here. Covers up that 5-hole.
Strike 3 calls. Second strikeout for Green. Conklin did not agree with that.
Neither did number 10 there. It's a hard slider here. Cutter.
A lot of the plate.
Yeah.
I think he missed his spot, which I think caused everybody to stir a little bit.
Yeah, either way, I think it's just too close to take.
So here is Roman Quinn with the bases loaded. Phillies left a couple in the first inning. And Quinn loops one out toward left. Wade, the shortstop, is out. He'll make the catch. And Green works out of another jam, this time in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 3 men left. We'll move to the third. 3-0 Yanks. Tomorrow at 1 on CSN, the Flyers playoff push continues as they head to Boston to battle the Bruins. Flyers versus Bruins tomorrow afternoon at 1 over on CSN, or stream the game on the go with the NBC Sports app. Beautiful day here in Clearwater. A little bit of a cloud cover.
I don't think
Phillies trail at 3-0.
I don't think the folks back home want to hear that.
What cloud? What?
A little bit of a cloud cover.
Well, there are low clouds back home. Just producing a different outcome.
Yes.
Here is Gary Sanchez to lead it off for the Yankees in the top of the third. He struck out his first time up. Now the first pitch to him is at the knees. It's 0-1. Sanchez, one of 2 strikeout victims today for Buchholz. In fact, he got the first 2 guys in the ball game on strikeouts. No balls and 2 strikes. Morgan warming up in the bullpen. He's scheduled to pitch 3 innings today, if not more. Phillies have so many starting pitchers, whether it be guys that will eventually go down to the minor league camp or guys that could stay as longmen candidates, that we've watched these last couple of days where the starter goes 3 innings. The hope is maybe 3 or 4. And then there's a long guy that's going to go 3 innings. So the rest of the guys in the bullpen, and some are off in the World Baseball Classic, so it's not as harmful. 2-2 to Sanchez. Outside 3-2.
Trying to get some sleep, and I turned off that Mexico-Italy game last night. I wish I wouldn't have. I mean, Mexico was up by 4 runs.
Remarkable that Italy came back to win that game. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Buchholz.
All speed pitch here again. Tight little slider there. That's what happens when you throw a couple pitches inside. It just opens up the outside.
Yeah, particularly with 2 strikes where the hitter gets a little jumpy.
Yeah.
Buchholz during his career has started 19 games against the Yankees in the regular season. He's not really fared all that well against them. 6-9 with an ERA of 5.63. Now time is called. Down the right field line. It is a fair ball, and it's going to hop into the stands. A ground rule double for Greg Bird, who's now 2 for 2. 9 for 20 this spring for the Yanks.
Well, that ball is going to continue to hook and get down foul, but a couple inches inside the chalk line down the right field line.
So Holiday, who walked his first time up and scored one of the runs on the home run by Headley. Popped up foul out of play. And it's 0-1. The end of the bat foul, and it's 0-2. Here's what the Yankees have added and subtracted going into this season. Chris Carter will battle against tough lefties most likely for the Yankees and be a bat off the bench. They added Holiday, of course. Cosma has kind of been with them the last couple of years in the minor leagues. Now Jonathan Neese picked up from the Mets, and he was late to sign, but he thought this would be a good spot for him to possibly win a roster spot. They lost to Sherrod to retirement. Brian McCann's in Houston. They shed a lot of money. They spent a lot of money on Aroldis Chapman, who they traded last year and then got back. I don't know. It depends how these young players go offensively, but they could be a dangerous team if their pitching staff holds up.
Yes, they could.
I don't know about you, but I think that's one of the big questions. Can their staff, Tanaka, who's had, different elbow problems, but he's pitched through them the last couple of years. Sabathia is a totally different pitcher as Holiday strikes out. Pineda figured something out last year. But if their starting staff can quiet these other American League East teams, they've got some power and they've got some hitters.
Cautious optimism is probably what they're thinking over there on that side. It's funny that it always comes down to pitching.
Here's Chase Headley, who homered his last time up to give the Yankees a 3-0 lead. As Buchholz chases Bird back to second. This was a shot right here.
Oh, curveball down and in. Most lefties will not miss that one. It's a shame because he got off to such a good start with 2 strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging.
Oh, 0-2. Interesting strike call from Nick Lentz.
I think spring training for everyone, Tom.
I think he thought it might have been strike 3 and realized as he was starting to go into his call that it wasn't, so he sort of casualed it up a little bit.
Played it off nicely.
He sure did. The Yankees finished 9 games off the pace in the American League East. And obviously 5 games behind the Orioles and the Blue Jays in the wild card. That's a heck of a division when you think about 4 teams being over 500. 2-2. Here is that wild card that we talked about. And honestly, you look at that, the setup there, it could be the same setup going into 2017. Mariners are a little bit better. At least they think they're a little bit better with their additions. The Astros think they're a little bit better and healthier. Swing and a miss. Headley's down on strikes. 3 strikeouts of the inning for Buchholz. And he has 5 overall. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. That guy right there at second. And we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Brought to you by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Oh, the birthday boy, Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees lead the Phillies 3-0. And Yankee fans down here from Tampa, it's not a bad ride. And depending how heavy your foot is, you can get here in 35 or 20 minutes, or it depends on how fast you drive.
It's a pretty ride over that causeway, though.
It is. And it's even cooler when there's like a storm coming over the water. Dark clouds. Yeah. Here's Jonathan Holder. His 4th spring training game takes over for Chad Green. Green went just the 2 innings today. And Holder, 9.82 ERA. He's thrown 3 2/3 so far. Well, Chad Green wound up walking 3 in his outing and striking out 2. And here's Howie Kendrick, who struck out his first time up outside 1-1. Adam Morgan has stopped throwing out of the bullpen, but he might be done and ready to go. That may be why he stops. Fly ball right center field. It's Judge and Hicks, and it'll be Judge who makes the catch. And 1 out here in the 3rd. Let's go down to Greg Murphy, who's got another guest. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, for Ben's birthday, a surprise, Roman Quinn has an early day. And, yeah, he got 2 at-bats today, and his day is done. So thanks for joining us down here. We were just having a conversation, and big smile on your face because you're just having so much fun. You're just enjoying the moment, aren't you?
Most definitely. I'm enjoying my time up here with the big league team, learning from the veteran guys, trying to perfect my game a little bit, working on my swing, working on my overall game in the outfield, and just having fun, man, trying to enjoy it while I was here.
Folks in Philadelphia got a chance to see a little bit of your game at the end of last year. First of all, that had to be a great experience for you, getting a chance to be up in the big leagues and see how it all works. What did you learn during that short period of time that you were up with the big league club, and what are you learning from the veterans right now?
How to take care of your body, how to go about your business every day, and just learn each and every day. Come to the ball field prepared. It's a lot more information once you get to the big leagues, and I try to take advantage of it.
You know, so many people, you work so hard to get to the big leagues and you get a taste of it. And now, you know, no one knows where you'll start this season. We're pretty sure you'll be back in the big leagues at some point. But how much does it whet your appetite to say, man, next time I get up there, I'm there for good. I want to be there for good.
It definitely made me a lot hungrier, man. It's definitely where I want to be, and definitely something to work towards. And just get there, not only just to get there, to stay there. And that's my goal.
You know, you have so many different skills and qualities that you bring to the baseball field, but your speed is something that we talk about. We got a chance to watch you go 1st and 3rd today and get a glimpse of that speed. I've seen you working out with Mickey out back on different base running drills. How important of an aspect of your game is the speed game, both defensively and when you're on the base path?
I try to utilize my speed as much as I can, especially at the plate. I'd rather get a bunt down, get on base. A little infield hit, whatever I can to help the team, and the outfield just cover as much as ground I can, and just get better, and that's my goal.
Before I let you go, I know you had a busy offseason because the Phillies tapped you to be part of their winter caravan, to go out and talk to the fans and talk to the media. You seem to enjoy that. You seem to connect with the fans. Again, something important for you that you get a chance to talk to these folks that are cheering you on every day?
Most definitely. It was pretty neat, man, going up there, especially on Martin Luther King Day. Went to the African American Museum, then went to the Ron Howard Center for the first time, and it was pretty cool. It was a good experience, and enjoyed it with the kids, and the Fanatic was there. It was an unbelievable time.
It's always fun when you get to hang out with the Fanatic.
Definitely, most definitely.
You know you made it when you're hanging out with the Fanatic. That's the truth. Roman, good to talk to you, and best of luck the rest of the spring, and good luck the rest of this year as well.
Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph. I was with Roman at the Ryan Howard Training Center, and he did a great job. You know, the kids really did relate to him on so many different levels. Down low to Brock Stassi. And it's 2 balls and no strikes after the single by Cameron Rupp. And later that night, Roman and I and Pete McCannon went to Williamsport for the Crosscutters banquet.
Long day.
It was a fun day. Roman was there when I won the bid for that orange glove. And he looked at it and said, "That is bad leather." I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, I wouldn't use that leather."
Those outfitters need to have a softer leather.
I don't know. I think he wanted the glove. He just didn't want to admit it. He wanted me to leave it behind for him to take it. 3 balls and 1 strike to Stassi. Foul tip, and it's 3-2. There's Adam Morgan continuing to warm in the bullpen. Runner goes. Pitch is popped up left side. Chase Headley's there. And the inning is over. The Phillies through the first 3 innings have left 6. We'll head to the 4th. Phillies down 3-0 to the Yanks. Buchholz through the first 3 innings of his afternoon. He started out the day with 2 strikeouts. Not a bad way to start. There's the 2 strikeouts right there, and then allowed the 3-run home run to Chase Headley. Headley got his the bat head out in front and smashed it out. But then he came back the next couple innings, struck out 3 more. And Ben, he's not done. He's ready to get some more work done as we go to the 4th inning.
No, he's not done. And you like to see that off-speed pitches there, and it seemed like his fastball command started to get a little bit better, started pitching more inside, and that seemed to open up that off-speed pitch down and away.
That's Cam Perkins out in center field. He takes over for Roman Quinn. Ryan Hannigan, meanwhile, takes over behind the plate. Starlin Castro will lead it off here in the 4th inning against Buchholz. He's at 65 pitches. And Castro is looking to send one to the tiki bar, and it's 0-1. Castro grounded out his first time up, grounded out to third. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Castro now 26 years old. He led the National League in hits in with 207 back in 2011. Made the All-Star team 3 times as a member of the Cubs. This time he doesn't go after that breaking pitch, and it's 1-2.
Still only 26.
Still only 26.
Something.
He won't be 40 for another 14 years.
Taking your shots.
Swing and a miss. He went after an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and 1 out here in the 4th inning.
Really cut back on his swing there with 2 strikes, did he?
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be it for Buchholz.
Buchholz climbs the ladder here, and Castro goes after it like it's a 3-0. Man alive. This is a 3-0 cookie.
Well, Buchholz's day is done. He allows 3 runs on 4 hits. The big blow, of course, the home run. So Adam Morgan's going to come out of the bullpen for the Phils. A pitching change here at the top of the 4th with 1 man down. Cavity Busters Kids Opening Day is Sunday, April 9th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals, and all fans 14 and under will receive the Phillies hooded sweatshirt. Take a peek at it right there. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. 3-0 Yankees on top, one out here in the top of the fourth inning. And Adam Morgan is warming up out on the mound for the Phils. And they're bringing him on to face Aaron Judge and then Clint Frazier. Clay Buchholz is done after 3 1/3, 4 hits and 3 runs.
Adam's been very good this spring, being a little bit more free and easy, cutting it loose. Now, if he is going to be that long relief guy, you know, he's not a guy that was a starter. He could conserve his pitches,
right?
Kind of tone it back. If he's going to be a long relief guy, he can go out there for 3 innings, cut it loose, knowing you're going to have a couple days off.
Judge flied out to center his first time up. Off to the right now to play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hannigan's still limping after that first pitch. Got a piece of his foot. Hannigan came on for Cameron Rupp to begin this inning.
Andre's giving him some time here. Going in and talk to Adam. He got it right off the toe. Glad that never happened to me, Tom.
Another one eats up Hannigan. This time it goes over his shoulder, though. Fortunately. Right off, he was crossed up on it.
Yeah. You didn't know whether to just try and pick it or palm up or palm down on that one.
Fly ball to right field. Saunders heads back toward the track and reaches up. Boy, the ball really carried. I thought he hit his first one better than he hit that one.
That little guy hit it.
6'6".
This ball just kept going. Michael Saunders gets back on it. Know the elements. And we talked before the game, Tom, about Aaron Judge. He is. I was down at the Yankees clubhouse today. I literally cannot get over how big he is. And very rarely do I feel like that because I'm a bigger guy.
Right.
He is just monstrous. Monstrous.
Yeah, and he is sometimes. I mean, at this point, he's probably, I don't want to say all or nothing, but he does strike out a lot. But they can take it. 24 years old.
6'7", 292.
0-2 to Frazier. .94 miles an hour for Adam Morgan.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. A couple options here. Either run another heater in underneath his hands, try and back foot him with that slider, or a good changeup down in the way.
There's a liner out toward short, caught by J.P. Crawford. And the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Yankees here in the top of the fourth. On to the bottom of the fourth. Andres Blanco will lead it off when we return. Toyota. Toyota's One for Everyone sales event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. And buy Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Beautiful day here in Clearwater, Florida. Chance Adams will take over out on the mound for the Yankees after Jonathan Holder pitched a scoreless inning. Adams 3.00 ERA so far this spring. Chad Green started and went 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, worked out of some jams.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Phillies scratch a couple across here. They've had some opportunities.
Phillies have left 6th through the first 3 innings. And Pete will send Andres Blanco, J.P. Crawford, and Scott Kingery. Adams was dominant in Single-A and Double-A last year. Former 5th-round pick out of Dallas Baptist. Went to Dallas Baptist after spending a couple of years at Yavapai in Arizona. Averaged 10.2 strikeouts per 9 innings last year. And the Yankees organization was 13-1.
Is that good?
I think that's good no matter what level.
I'm not good with numbers, but
listed as the number 14 prospect by the Yankees. He is 22. Not a big guy. Stands 6 feet, 215 pounds on the inside corner, but does throw 94. Opposition hit just $169 against him last year. And there's some certain numbers that you look at for a minor league pitcher and try to decide whether he'll be effective at each and every level. Last year combined, he allowed 5.5 hits per 9 innings. I mean, that's a pretty good number.
Well, that batting average against tells me that they don't pick the ball up often.
Right.
That's exactly what that tells me. They don't see it well.
There's ball 4. Andres Blanco draws a leadoff walk. And J.P. Crawford is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's got a very special guest with him. A guy that's been in the Phillies system, Troy Hoffert, for a long time as an athletic trainer. I've known him since his days at the Reading Phillies back about 10 years ago, and he has made his way over from the Carpenter Complex. Murph, I'm glad you were able to give him the proper directions.
Yes, absolutely was, and he's here for a reason because, well, you know what? Troy Hoffert, he got a very nice award, recognition throughout minor league baseball. The minor league trainer of the year, and all of minor league baseball is standing right next to me, this man. When you first heard the news, I mean, we're talking about a couple of 100 guys, and you're the man this year. What was that like for you?
It was just incredibly overwhelming. I mean, knowing that I'm representing the Phillies medical staff. I mean, to know that I was selected by my peers. I mean, that meant so much to me. You know, and I had some of my people I worked with were coming up to me afterwards saying, you know, how I had helped them become better athletic trainers. People I interacted with just like for like a season or so. I mean, that meant so much to me to know that I was helping them become better athletic trainers. That made me feel terrific.
You know, sometimes we forget just how many people it takes to get these men, these athletes out on the field on a daily basis at every level of competition, not just at the big leagues. You're one of those guys. You were invited to the winter meetings, and you got the award there. You got up and gave a speech, and I was told that it was a pretty moving speech and, you know, very emotional. To take us through, because the journey for you, Tom just illustrated, has been long, but also had some bumps in the road.
Yeah, well, I always had seizures growing up. And, you know, when I first started working with the Phillies, I was kind of like a little worried. I was on medication. It was under control, but I always kind of had to worry, you know, like, am I going to have a seizure? Am I going to injure a player? Am I going to, you know, like, so I was just kind of worried about that. And, in fact, it was Thanksgiving Day, 2005, day before Thanksgiving. I had a seizure while I was driving with my future wife, had a bad car accident, and then I contacted my neurologist after that, and I said, is there any way we can somehow fix this? Because somehow, you know, something has to be done. And he's like, yes, there actually is a procedure we can do. So Valentine's Day 2006, I had a left temporal lobectomy in Tampa. and I've been seizure free ever since. So it's just amazing. I can't believe, you know, the way God has this all worked out for me, you know.
It is an amazing route. And, you know, we were talking before we came on to do the interview. And, you know, again, you're down at the Gulf Coast League now. You've been up and ready. You've been all throughout the Phillies organization. You've seen a lot of the Phillies, the folks that the folks at home know all about. You've stretched a lot of hamstrings in your day, have you not? Yeah. Who are some of the guys that you work with?
Oh, I mean, like, I've been able to work with like guys like Jimmy Rollins, Scott Rowland. I mean, those guys. That was a great group of guys going through it. All the Phillies now. I mean, like the minor league guys, I've worked on them as they've come up through. You know, like the Aaron Altairs, I had him as a rookie. You know, I mean, that's a great feeling knowing that these guys are now like out here every day, and I had something to do with at least keeping them healthy, or at least getting them on the right track. You know.
Yeah, there's a sense of pride. You know, and it starts with Scott Sheridan and his group here, and right on down through the minor league system. That you guys are certainly doing your part.
No, we have you know, Scott Sheridan and the medical staff here is terrific. I think we have a great team, you know, and I'm just kind of representing our medical team, you know, and I think we do a fantastic job with these guys, and I hope we do.
Well, obviously you do. You're the award winner, the minor league trainer of the year. The pride of Tulpehocken High School in Berks County is Troy Hopford. Congratulations, and thanks for spending a couple minutes with us.
Thank you.
Guys, back upstairs.
That's a great honor, Murph. And as we said, we've known Troy for a long time. He's been with the Phillies system for a long time, as he just alluded to. And, you know, you look at the job that Scott Sheridan and Sean Fakasny have done up on, and Chris Mudd on the big league level, poor Paul Fournier. And you think about, there are guys all throughout the system that are doing the same kind of work, and it's great to see them being honored like that.
Everyone talks about the 25 men in the big leagues on each team. How about the trainers?
Down low and away, 1-0 to Kingery after J.P. Crawford went down on strikes. Sean Fakasny is the taller of the two right there.
But these guys, the turmoil that they have to go through in the minor leagues, the travel, the making the reservations, the hotels, and they do it all. They do it all, and for not a lot of pay.
Back to the screen, 1 ball, 1 strike.
It really is for the love of your profession and the love of baseball and helping guys out. I mean, some of the trainers, there's many games I wouldn't be able to get on the field if it weren't for my trainers. That's the bottom line, and they take a lot of pride in their work. And it's nice to see men like Troy being rewarded for that.
1-2 now to Kingery. Kingery is the number 9 batter in the Phillies lineup today. Chris Coughlin is on deck as we're about to go to the top of the order. There's Coughlin. Chance Adams has walked 1 and struck out 1.
Any idea what that meeting would have been about after the strikeout to Crawford?
I don't know.
It's a long one.
The only thing I'm wondering is if it, you know, was a reminder about Blanco at first base, maybe holding him on.
Maybe he's not going anywhere. It's 3-0. Well, he's not a, I mean, no offense, but he's not a speedster.
A high fastball, and Kingery strikes out. Back-to-back strikeouts. You know, maybe there's a certain pitch that Larry Rothschild really wanted him to make sure he threw, although he could probably signal that to Gary Sanchez. But I don't know, Ben.
A high hard fastball here to Kingery, and looks so appetizing up there.
So 2 away, back to the top of the order. Coughlin is up, and a breaking ball, 0-1. Coughlin is 0 for 2. He has fly to left. He's gone down looking on strikes. He just got his foot caught, didn't he?
Yep.
Through your motion 1,000 times.
Got his nails caught up.
Did a good job of following through and making sure that he didn't get hurt
for a balk.
Or a balk. There has to be some deception to the way he's throwing too.
they're not picking it up on them. I mean, they're just not picking the baseball up. You see that fastball? I mean, 94, 95. There's nothing sneaky about that. It's fast. The other off-speed pitch he's able to throw for strikes after the walk to Blanco.
Off the hands, out towards shallow left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Blanco will hesitate around second. The Phillies have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And here comes Cam Perkins.
Make sure we have another meeting first, Tom.
Perkins last year at Lehigh Valley, 292 with 8 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Phillies selected Cam Perkins out of Purdue University. (26 years old). In fact, last year he played 117 games for the Iron Pigs. Hitting .278 this spring. Another guy that could probably play all 3 outfield positions, which, you know, if the Phillies need a bat off the bench as one of their extra outfielders, they would like to have somebody that can play more than one of the positions and play it effectively.
Isn't it nice that the Phillies now have this many options? Whereas a couple of years ago they didn't.
Now those options, you know, have to pan out,
yes,
on the big league level,
yes,
but there's still more than there was. I think Pete likes to have that versatility.
But I like to see that some of these younger guys, I think they definitely are grasping the fact that their opportunity could be now. Maybe not now in April, but it might be there in June. It might be there in July. So they're doing their best to take advantage of it now. Leave a lasting impression in Pete McCann and the coaching staff's minds.
Ball 4. Perkins draws a walk. That'll load up the bases. That is the 5th walk issued by Yankee pitching here this afternoon. And Howie Kendrick is due up.
Now he came out with a big bases loaded 2-out knock yesterday, score a couple runs, see if he can do it again.
Bullpen action for the Yankees. They've got the left-hander warming up. That's Jonathan Neese. A little late on that fastball at 94, up in the zone. Wondering where Howie's batting in the order. You can see it right next to his name. He's the number 3 batter. And he could not hold up on that breaking ball. So Chance Adams worked himself into a jam, but he struck out 3 here in the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 3 men left. Phillies Spring Training Baseball is always live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected all spring with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. 3-0 Yankees on top. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Daniel Nava has taken over in left field for the Phils. As Adam Morgan goes back to work after getting the 2 batters he faced in the 4th. He'll face Tyler Wade to start the 5th inning, and that one is sliced right inside the bag down the left field line. And Wade speeds to second base with his 2nd double of the spring, his 9th hit of the spring. So he's aboard to start things off.
Adam Morgan, first inning, using predominantly fastballs to get his 3 outs in his first inning of work, or 2 outs, I should say. Wade going up there, sitting dead red, got his fastball and shot it down the left field line. Smart hitting, if you think about it.
Sure. If you can do it.
If you can do it.
And there's Aaron Hicks getting a chance to bat right-handed. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Hannigan going out to chat. I wonder if he was just crossed up there too.
I think Adam called him out.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Maybe he wants to make sure he knows what the signs are.
All right, I'm going to throw white Rawlings with red seams on them. Yeah, I don't know. He's a perfectly located fastball. It wasn't like Hannigan was set up inside and he threw it outside.
Hannigan doing a little dancing behind the plate, set up outside, and then drew himself back inside. Did you like to do that as a catcher?
No.
Could you do it as a catcher?
I could, but I didn't want my pitcher thrown to a moving target.
Could you do it depending on the pitcher?
If the pitcher wanted me to do it, like set up late, yes. But some guys wanted me to get out there, get as big as I could or as small as I could. Trevor Hoffman wanted me huge. Get as wide as you can. Jamie Moyer, get as small as you can. Sometimes it was hard for me to get small, Tom.
Yeah, I would think so. Had a play, and it's 1-2. Tyler Wade on second base after his leadoff double.
I mean, very rarely will you have a pitcher throw to a vicinity. They don't want to throw to a vicinity. They want to throw to a spot. And you don't want that spot to be moving.
Well, that's the spot he wanted. It's just a little inside. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hicks.
Hannigan very animated, always has been. Very animated catcher.
I think he liked that spot.
Yeah, he did.
After a quick meeting out on the mound, they count 2 balls and 2 strikes, trying to go back to work here. Breaking ball. That's not a bad pitch.
No, it's not. And it's a great take by Hicks because he's been peppered with fastballs, and a couple he's been late on. So you're thinking maybe I want to get started a little sooner. You don't pick up that rotation swing over the top of it. He did not do that there.
Change up and a beauty. Whew. Hicks is down on strikes for the second time today. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Well, that was a really good pitch.
It's a good sequence all the way around. Used them all. That's a very nice straight change. And just Hicks well out in front. Well, we did have another meeting after that strikeout, so.
Gary Sanchez has struck out twice this afternoon.
Just unless you're seeing something drastic, you have a guy that's throwing the ball really, really well. I never wanted to mess with that.
Yeah, the first time it was Morgan who called out Ryan Hannigan to chat with him.
Right. And he went out on his own and then went out again.
On the outside corner, that one slipped in at 92 miles an hour, and it's 0-2.
It's one of those pitches you'd hear from the bench. Pintura, you hear Painter. He's out there painting. Guys would always yell that. I always got a kick out of it.
Back towards second base, and Kingery has it go right between the wickets. A run will score, and it's now 4-0 Yankees on top. That'll be an E4. Ball did not take the hop that Kingery thought it would.
That's why we always tell the infielders work from the ground up. Because if you're not from the ground up, you get a ball that stays down like that, you can't go down with your glove. He's expected to take a bigger hop there. Ball's hit sharply, but a play that Scott should have made.
That'll be the first error of the day for the Phillies, and it brings Greg Bird to the plate for the Yankees. Bird is 2 for 2, a single and a double. And he fouls the first pitch off. It's 0-1. Over our heads, and 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bird missed the entire year last year. We mentioned with the labrum injury and the surgery. You always wonder, you know, guys have trouble coming back because it's hard to throw when you have a labrum injury, as he's tied up and is down on strikes for the second out. But sometimes that may affect you as a hitter too, because the extension and the swing and everything else, even if it's a check swing, sometimes that shoulder's bothered.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem bothered though this spring.
No, he looked good his first 2 at bats. Got eaten up right there by Adam.
So now a 2 away and a run in. Here's Matt Holliday, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Hits it off foul, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Off the glove of Hannigan, doesn't go too far. Pete McCadden just told Ryan Hannigan to look over, with Sanchez taking his lead over at first base. And he wanted to throw over. Sometimes Pete in spring training will force the pitchers to throw over more often than, let's say, during the regular season, trying to get them into the rhythm of doing it. That was a big deal to Pete last year, as to making sure the pitchers kept the runners close at first. He felt like he, first of all, had to help Carlos Ruiz out, but just help the catchers out overall. And keeping the hitters, the base runners, I should say, closer to the bag.
Amazing what a half a step can mean in throwing a runner out at second base.
Absolutely.
And somebody just to shorten up by that much.
Those signs right now for Pete. Two balls, 2 strikes to Holiday here in the top of the 5th. Fly ball center field. Cameron Perkins shading his eyes from the sun. And the inning is over. So an unearned run scores for the Yankees on the air by Scott Kingery. Adam Morgan has got an inning in 2/3. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Michael Saunders will be up for the 3rd time when we come back.
That are going to be available. I don't want to give the players a bunch of eyewash and tell them that, you know, they're competing for jobs, because really there's not that many jobs to compete for at the major league level. However, you're always competing for a job. These guys want to make their mark so they can push their way into the big leagues.
Well, I think that's interesting, because it's different than the last couple of years with the Phillies, where there were a number of jobs that were up for grabs. But Pete's right. You know, you think about it, there's bench positions, but there's not really much else for the starting 9. I mean, if somebody lights it up during spring training, then you have to reconsider it.
Right.
The bullpen has a couple of positions open as well. But with the addition of Michael Saunders, who leads it off, and Howie Kendrick, who made the last out of the fourth inning, the Phillies have kind of filled some voids for their starting 8.
They have, and unless something drastic happens, like major injury, if they do need to call someone up throughout the course of the year, and let's say player X doesn't do that job, well, they can send them down and bring up somebody else because they have that added depth now. It's not like you bring a guy up just because he's either on the 40-man or they need to fill a roster spot, and he just stays there because they need to fill a spot. If you're not doing the job, then they can ship him out and get someone else in.
2-1 to Michael Saunders. Chance Adams in his second inning of work. Just a bit outside. And it's 3-1. That one is pulled foul down the right field line and out of play. It'll be Saunders and then Ryan Hannigan. Jonathan Neese continues to warm in the pen. He's warmed up a lot out in the bullpen. And ball 4. And that is the third walk issued by Adams. And here comes Joe Girardi. And Joe has signaled to the pen, so it looks like Neese is coming in. So folks are sitting back and waiting for Jonathan Neese to step into this ball game. Chance Adams goes 1+ in his outing, and he walks 3, strikes out 3. We'll be back with a pitching change after this. Monday, CSN will present a 1-hour featured documentary, Tomboy, exploring women's participation in athletics and the challenges they face at every level, elevating the conversation about gender in sports. Tomboy, Monday night at 10, right here after our coverage of the Flyers and the Blue Jackets over on CSN. Michael Saunders' afternoon is complete as Nick Williams will come on and pinch run for him. So Williams will take over in right field for the Phils. And the new pitcher for the Yankees is Jonathan Neese, who combined to go 8-7 last year with the Pirates and the New York Mets with an ERA of 5.50. It didn't go well for him this time around with the Mets. His earned run average was over 11. So his career numbers against the Phils. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. One ball and 1 strike. I wonder what kind of gas Nice has left in his tank. I mean, he's 69 and 68 lifetime. We've always said that he seems to be a better pitcher than a 500 pitcher. But does he have enough fastball? I mean, that one's at 86 miles an hour.
He does the one thing on his side.
He's left-handed.
He's left-handed.
But a left-handed starter more than a left-handed reliever. Ground ball right side. Castro bobbles for a moment and then throws to first, and Hannigan is safe. And the Phils have runners on first and second with nobody out.
Had some awkward spin on that ball. Hannigan cues it out towards second base. Castro, you can see, just let that ball play him instead of really attacking the baseball. You see him backing up on it. Probably realizing I do have some time, catcher running, but because you make the call, no delay at all, safe.
Well, they have scored an error to Starlin Castro. And now Brock Stassi. Stassi is 0 for 2. He's lined out and he's popped out. 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies have left 9 so far through the first 4 innings, but the door is open, down 4-0 here. Williams getting his lead off second base and getting a decent secondary lead. Murph, that's something he was working on with Mickey Morandini today on the half field next to the big stadium. And it's something that they've been working on quite often.
You're right about that, Tom. You know, it's funny, when we came into spring training, base running was a topic of conversation among Pete Mackanin and a lot of his coaches, especially Mickey Morandini, who handles that for Pete. And, you know, talking about last year, you know, you think back to last year, and we do remember some big mistakes that were made out on the base pass. But honestly, Pete said that he was pretty happy with the way the base running went a year ago for the most part. Taking extra bases, going first to third, going second to home on a base hit, those kinds of things. But he wanted to emphasize this year stealing bases, getting good jumps, and reading pitchers. And you know, every time we come in every morning at about 8:45, 9 o'clock, and Mickey Morandini's out there with a handful of guys working on those very things. Nick Williams was one of those guys out there today, just working on recognizing first movement by pitchers, just trying to get a good jump so they can get off first base and maybe take an extra bag. Those little things that add up to runs throughout the game. So it's, you know, you and I talked, Ben, about it today. The little things at the major league level that make such a big difference. Those are one of the things that are several of the things that Pete Mackanin has been emphasizing.
Fly ball to left center field. Aaron Hicks floats under it. And the Phillies leave runner over third. So the error by Starlin Castro does not hurt the Yankees. We've played 5. We'll head to the 6th. 4-0 Yankees on top. Well, that 3-run home run by Chase Headley was the big blow in this ball game. It came in the first inning, and it's given the Yankees a 4-0 lead, or it's helped the Yankees to a 4-0 lead as we go to the 6th. Phillies have left 10 men on base, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. It happens. Adam Morgan is in relief of Clay Buchholz, who went 3 in the third, allowed 3 earned runs, but had 6 strikeouts in that 3 in the third. Adams so far has allowed 1 earned run. Rhys Hoskins will take over at first base for the Phillies. Hector Gomez is in over at third. And as we go to the top of the 6th inning, Adam Morgan goes back to work against Chase Headley, Starlin Castro, and Aaron Judge. Headley began his career in the National League with the San Diego Padres before he was acquired by the Yankees. Yankees signed him to a fairly lucrative extension a couple years ago. Out to left field. Daniel Nava hasn't played perfectly. 1 out. And here comes Castro.
And nice to see Adam getting these pitches in on right-handed hitters. This has some very good velocity today. We've seen that throughout the course of spring training, though. And he's not in one of those situations where he can take his foot off the gas at all. And he knows that. He's been around long enough, trying to make a ball club. Full throttle.
Castro takes outside. It's 1-0. I think that's the thing about Adam is that he's trying to get himself ready for the season wherever it is that he goes. But you know, as you said, he can't take the foot off the throttle because there is a spot to be won for him on the major league level. A high fly ball to deep left field. Nava going back toward the wall, feeling for it, reaching up and makes the catch. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Different day, that may have blown right on out of it.
Yeah, that ball was touched. But it's nice. Nava does not give up on it. Finds the track, finds the fence, never gives up on it. I thought that ball was going to be in the bullpen, to be honest with you. The way it came off the bat.
So 2 outs, 2 fly balls to left, both a little different personality. And Aaron Judge will be the hitter. He's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Judge now 8 for 25 on the spring. I have to admit, I didn't realize he hit just 179 last year when the Yankees brought him up. I think he's got to change his number.
Maybe he's comfortable with it. Not a whole lot of numbers left over there.
Oh, that is true.
Maybe you should go with number 3.
You do that.
Triple digits. It's been that way for years, though, in the big leagues with the Yankees. A lot of guys, they're there, and they're there for years. Look, Phil Hughes had number 65 for years. They just don't have a lot of numbers left.
Out to right field. That's well hit. Williams going back toward the wall, and it is gone. Onto the berm. Little opposite field power for Aaron Judge. That's his 2nd home run of the spring. Both have come against the Phillies. And it's now 5-0 Yankees on top.
Looks like he almost gets beat on this pitch. Little flick of the wrist. Into the 5-0 ball game. How would it be that strong? The ball was away, but up just a hair. I think that if the ball's down a little bit more, see a different result, but big strong man.
Clint Frazier, the batter, late on a fastball, and it's 0-1. Luis Garcia starting to throw in the pen. Foul tip, and it's 2-2. The ball may have gotten a piece of Ryan Hannigan behind the plate.
He might need an ice tub after this. And Pete's not asking him how he's feeling. He asked him
what the pitcher was. Good spot. Just a little low, and it's 3-2. One earned run, one unearned run allowed by Adam Morgan. Over to shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And he zips the throw across the diamond. One run on the home run the opposite way by Judge. We played 5.5. If you're keeping score, the Yankees are up 5-0. Dog night. The first one is Monday, April 10th at 7:05 when the Phillies take on the New York Mets. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Yes, that is Smiley that's here at Spectrum Field. Nice grab by that guy right there. Smiley getting a chance to hang out with the Fanatic on this bright, sunshiny afternoon. And Hatfield hot dogs are sold here at the ballpark at Spectrum Field, just as they are at Citizens Bank Park.
Would you eat a boiled piece of meat wrapped in tin foil and shot out of a cannon?
Yeah, I would. They're all beef, Ben. Yankees have made some changes as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We'll get them to you in just a moment. First thing is that Rashawn Crawford, or James Reeves, I should say, is out in left field for the Yankees. Justice Sheffield is the new pitcher for the Yankees. First pitch is swung on and missed by J.P. Crawford. So lefty on lefty. Crawford today is 0 for 1 with a walk. Bouncer back toward the middle. And it's handled by Wade, and quickly to Choi at first base. And there's one away. That's Choi over at first base. The center fielder for the Yankees is Dustin Fowler as he takes over. There he is. We mentioned in left field it's James Reeves who takes over for Frazier. And the new third baseman is Ruben Tejada, the veteran. As Kingery takes a strike, it's 0-1. Kingery walked his first time up and then struck out his last time. In the outside corner. The bouncer toward third. Tejada waits and it stays foul. Sheffield has a brother who plays in the Dodgers organization. He is not the nephew of Gary Sheffield. See his numbers this spring, a 5.40 earned run average. He is out of Tullahoma, Tennessee. He had committed originally to play at Vanderbilt, which wouldn't have been a bad thing until the Indians drafted him in the first round in 2014. So he signed.
Let's see what kind of arm he has. Came out to take his warm-up pitches. I said, this guy's throwing a million. I looked up, the first pitch was 94.
Yeah, last year between three different levels between the Yankees and the Indians, he was 10-6 with an ERA of 3.09. So they did get a number of players back in the Andrew Miller trade. Way outside, and it's 1-2.
How much time do you think Andrew Miller took off after the playoffs were over? The World Series. 2 months? Had to have before he picked the ball up.
Yeah. Swing and a miss, and Kingery is down on strikes, and there are 2 outs.
To the Phillies, batting for Oakland, number 19, Tommy Joseph.
Tommy Joseph will pinch hit. By the way, Mateo takes over for the Yankees at second base. That's Jorge Mateo. And the new right fielder is Rob Refsnyder. I think that's all the changes that the Yankees have for this inning. There's Refsnyder. And Joseph takes a strike. And it's 0-1. Tommy batting for Chris Coughlin, who was 1 for 3. Way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Tommy Joseph's home run in his last at bat yesterday. This had to feel pretty good.
It's a slider down and away. Stays down on it, drives out to left field. Such a joy to watch him take batting practice. Never satisfied with his BP.
And a liner out toward right center field. That's a bullet. Refsnyder will cut it off, and Joseph's aboard with a 2-out single.
Man, that's good. Some nice hitting right there. Now, talking about his batting practice, saw him hit 4 balls out in a row, round of 5, hit 4 out in a row, rolled over his last one and wasn't too happy about it, but be happy about that swing. Whew. Could work that way, start to turn on balls in, have a great career.
Well, here's Cam Perkins, who walked in his first at bat. Came out and played center field for Roman Quinn. And a pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Daniel Nava waits on deck for the Phillies. Over toward the hole. There's a base hit for Cam Perkins, and the Phils have 2 more base runners on with 2 men down. Boy, they need a big hit right here. They've left 10 on base so far. And Daniel Nava will be the batter. The new catcher for the Yankees is Kyle Higashioka, and he takes over for Sanchez. So the Yankees have made changes all throughout their position players except for the shortstop. And Wade will come out eventually as Torres will check in. So Nava bats right-handed against the lefty with runners on first and second. And a pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Nava hitting .400 this spring. 0-2. The inside part of the plate. Sheffield's not a big guy. He's 5'10", 195 pounds. And he has been a starter his entire career in the minor leagues, which spans 3 years. Off the plate. Sheffield waits for it and turns and flips it softly to first. But the Phillies leave a couple here in the 6th inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. Cam Perkins is base hit, slides by the boards, and we'll head to the 7th. Are now available by calling Citizens Bank Park or by going to Phillies.com. You can choose from full season or 5 unique partial season ticket plans, which offer a few games each month. All season ticket packages feature an assortment of benefits, discounted ticketing pricing, ticket exchange options, pre-sale opportunities, prepaid parking options as well. Again, go to Phillies.com for more information. Valentin takes over at shortstop, so this is the first time we're seeing Yesmuel Valentin play shortstop for the Phillies. And Luis Garcia will take over on the mound. This is the 5th game for Luis. He has an 11.25 ERA. He's allowed 7 hits, and the opposition hitting .368 against him. This is a big spot for him because he has to start showing some more commands. And the first pitch to Wade is fouled back.
And doing that right there, working ahead. Needs to get ahead of hitters.
It'll be Tyler Wade and then Dustin Fowler for the Yankees. Wade today is 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Cut that one on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. Not a bad spot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It is true, though, Ben, isn't it, that getting to the point now for Luis Garcia where we've talked about how he's got the stuff, but he's got to start showing it here more in spring training, because the track record from last year is the same as what we've seen this spring.
And we've seemingly talked about this for
over and over again
for a couple years now.
Looks like he's tinkered with his motion a little bit. A lot of movement with the glove, but he's also started and stopped a couple times with the way he comes to the plate. Two balls, two strikes. Off the hands, out towards second. Kingery waits for the hop, has to hurry, and he does in time. One away. And here is Dustin Fowler up for the first time. Fowler's had a good spring for the Yankees. And he takes outside. The 368. That 96-mile-an-hour fastball jumped right there. 10 games, 368 batting average. There's some folks that think that Fowler has got a chance to be the everyday center fielder eventually for the Yankees. Ability to kind of go get it. Just 22 years old. Solid year last year in Trenton, playing for the Thunder. If you consider 57 extra base hits, a solid year. 30 doubles, 15 triples. And 12 home runs.
Pick them up and put them down, huh?
Seriously. 25 stolen bases last year. That was after 2015 where he had 30 stolen bases. He has come to camp as a non-roster invitee. Three and two. Swing and a miss. 96 on that fastball. And there are two outs.
Threw him the old Bayou ball. Just rear back and let her go.
There's Kyle Higashioka, the catcher for the Yankees, up for the first time as he replaced Gary Sanchez. 2 home runs in his 5 hits this spring. A 26-year-old from Huntington Beach, California.
Looking at Fowler there, just struck out. Used to be there, Brett Gardner. He was a fixture in left field for the Yankees in center field for seemingly over a decade.
Yeah, he's the elder statesman now. He said the other day in spring training how weird it is that he's kind of the elder statesman. He said, man, the time has gone by fast.
Yeah.
It used to be that he would lean on some of the older guys, and now he's the older guy that people are leaning on.
When I was in 06, I was rehabbing my elbow. I was in camp with the Yankees and stayed down here for a couple months. Played a couple games with the Tampa, the A-ball team here, and Gardy was on the team.
Fly ball, right field. Nick Williams started back. Now he comes trotting in.
And I remember thinking to myself, this kid's going to play in the big leagues.
Wow.
Just from what he did, the way he could run, the way he handled the bat. He's a heck of a ball player. I see him still going.
5-0 Yanks as we. Sixers head to Los Angeles to clash with Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and the LA Clippers. Sixers versus Clippers. Tip-off is at 3:30 here on TCN, or stream the game live on csnphilly.com and with the NBC Sports app. Well, with Ben Davis and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. It's 5-0. Yankees are on top. Phillies have stranded a boatload of runners so far in this game. Yankees have made their final switch of the infield. Torres will take over for Wade. As we mentioned before, he was scheduled to slide in there. And Nick Williams will take outside. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. So the infield for the Yankees has the veteran Tejada at third as Williams lifts it out toward shortstop. Torres at short, and he makes the catch. 1 away. Mateo at second and Choi over at first base. There's Ryan Hannigan up for the second time. He reached on an error his first time up. Hannigan at 375 this spring. And 1 ball and 1 strike. Joey Rodriguez loosening up in the pen for the Phillies. This guy's got a pretty good arm. Mentioned that he's made starts throughout the course of his minor league career. You see an arm like this, you think, all right, yes, he can definitely start, but could he help as the reliever right away?
You can see he's got the complement of all speed pitches as well.
Sure does. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hannigan.
Must have it upstairs too. Going to Vanderbilt.
Ball 4, and Hannigan draws a walk. That is the 7th walk today by the Phillies hitters. And Rhys Hoskins is coming up for the first time.
Maybe that's something they want Sheffield to work on, is this changeup. I mean, that one there at 90, obviously it's a bit hard, but to throw it in that situation, you're up 5-0 in the bottom of the 7th. You know, to me, that tells me they want him to work on it, because there's no reason when you're throwing 95, 96, 5-0 in the 7th in spring training.
And I guess you have to realize that, I mean, even we've done these games for so long and you've played for so long, that does happen.
Yeah.
Matt was saying the other day that the hitters, you know, some of the hitters, when they were up there, they were going up there taking a pitch. It didn't matter what it was, but they were trying to work the count to a certain count before they went ahead and swung. Now, that's not necessarily what Hoskins has done here. That pitch was way out of the zone, or Hannigan before. 2-0. And 3 balls and no strikes. You gonna let him loose here?
No.
Come on, it's your birthday. Let him loose.
All right. Have at it. Go get him, Rhys. Better be a cookie, though. Same pitch as the 1-0.
Automatic strike. 3 balls, no strikes. At least that's what Nick Lentz is thinking. Decent pitch to hit, and he fouled it off. It's 3-2. Look at the reaction by Rhys Hoskins. He knows it was a decent pitch to hit. Larry Rothschild seen some of his young pitchers here this afternoon. I think we're seeing, to a certain extent, why the Yankees have the top farm system, or one of the top farm systems, top 2 in baseball.
And for years it was the other way around, where they were trading their top prospects to get a marquee guy. Not so much the case the last couple of years. At least last year, I mean, just to get Justice Sheffield back in the trade from the Indians, I mean, it's huge.
Sheffield and Frazier in the outfield. And a liner to left field, a base hit for Hoskins. He stayed right on it. And the Phils have 2 more on here in the 7th inning, and Hector Gomez is coming up.
That's something. You get a 3-1 count, 3-2 count, both fastballs, you overswing. You get a 3-2 slider, you stay on it, nice and easy, and a bullet to left field. Nice fluid swing there.
Yeah, nice and short. So now Hector Gomez up for the first time. 7 for 13 this spring. Not too shabby.
Always ready to hit, isn't he?
Sure is.
He's going to get his swings.
94. Now that fastball. Off-speed pitch at 88 miles an hour. Same spot as the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches and Gomez strikes out. And 2 outs with 2 runners on. Well, Valentin is now the hitter, up for the first time. Well, he walked the one batter in this inning, but he has been right around the plate.
Yes.
Nothing's right in the middle of the plate either. Marsh is the right-hander warming up in the pen. Two balls, 1 strike. Little tapper foul over the net in front of the Phillies coaches.
See Sheffield able to command both sides of the plate with his off-speed pitches and his fastball. So what you try and do is pick out one side of the plate until you get to 2 strikes.
Which is where Valentin is at the count 2-2. Outside 3-2. The runners will be off. Phillies no runs, 7 hits here this afternoon. And they've left 12 through the first 6 innings. And they have 2 more runners on base here. Trying to get a run home and get their first hit with a runner in scoring position. Runners go, ball 4, and that'll load them up. Well, this is one of those up and down days, I think, if you're Joe Girardi. You've got a 5-0 lead, but your pitchers have now walked 8 batters in this game. That's just a lot of walks, even though you know that some of them are young guys. Although Chad Green walked 3. Chance Adams walked 3. 2 walks now for Sheffield. And Scott Kingery with the bases loaded.
3rd time today, bases juiced.
Swing and a miss. Starts him off with a breaking ball.
Good guys are due, aren't they, Tom?
I would think so. What did you say before? How unfair it is that March 10th guys are throwing breaking pitches.
3-1 breaking pitches.
Swing and a miss. Kingery is down on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Phillies leave him loaded here in the 7th. We played 7 complete here at Spectrum Field. Time to take a stroll to the top of the 8th.
Come and
Eighth inning, it's 5-0. Yankees are on top. So if you're wondering what that is right there, that's right behind home plate here at Spectrum Field, where it's not technically a food court, but that's where a good portion of the food availability is here at the ballpark. But you get them all around the concourse, from Delco's cheesesteaks, you get Hatfield quality meats, the hot dogs down the right field line as well. And then there's another one out toward left field if you're venturing down here to Spectrum Field. Luis Garcia back out on the mound. Choi, the first baseman, leads it off, and the first pitch is in there. A 1-2-3 7th inning for Garcia, and now we'd love to see him follow it up with another one as he gets 2 innings of relief here.
A long time for Garcia to sit in between innings. That can't be easy for a pitcher.
0-2 to Choi. A bit outside, 1-2. The ball was scorched into the stands by Choi. Hit low. Yankees signed Choi to a minor league contract this past offseason. In fact, late in the year. His 5 career major league home runs coming with the Angels. That one is down the right field. Here's Williams on the run. He got a good jump at it, and he puts it away for the first out. So one out, and Miguel Andujar will be the batter. Andujar is batting for Matt Holliday, the DH. A 22-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Spent last year in Single A and Double A. 72 games for Trenton and 58 games in Single A. Hit a combined .273 with 12 home runs, and he hits that one softly toward third. Gomez picks it and throws to first. 2 outs. I think he was the only one that could make that play. I don't think Valentin could have made that play.
I don't think so, especially with the angle that he would have had to create. Gomez comes in here, picks it nicely. Nice it stayed on the grass too for him instead of hitting that dirt. They had a different hop on him.
Well,
he attacks it nicely.
Yep.
Comes through the baseball. Heck of a play.
Well, that'll be it for Luis Garcia. Bob McClure out to the mound, and he'll take the baseball from him, and a little bit of instruction along the way. And it looks like Joely Rodriguez will be coming in for the bullpen. So pitching change here in the 8th. The Phillies down 5-0. Base and deliveries of the game. We go back to the first inning.
And Chase Headley goes down and gets it after 2 strikeouts. Headley comes up and does some damage, and then in the 6th inning, big boy Aaron Judge. It's a fastball from Adam Morgan out over the plate and drives it over the right field wall. They are your WB Mason deliveries of the game.
So that's why the Yankees are up 5-0. They've also added an unearned run here this afternoon. Part of the problem the Phillies are down 5-0 is because they've left so many men on base. So now Joely Rodriguez will take over with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. And he will face Ruben Tejada, the veteran. I think you're going to see an inning and a third out of Joely Rodriguez here. Tejada hitting over 300 this spring. Do you think it's surprising that he's had such a tough time getting a major league job the last couple of years on a consistent basis?
Yes.
And I say that because he can be a utility guy and play second, short, and third.
100% agree.
Over toward third. Diving stop for Gomez. And man, he's made 2 very good plays in this inning. He got the last 2 outs with his glove. That'll pop a smile on everybody's face. We've played 7.5 on to the bottom of the 8th. A little defense from Hector Gomez. And now the Phils need a little offense. The At Phillies cell phone wallet is free to fans 15 and older. It's going to be given out on Wednesday, April 12th, when the Phillies take on the New York Mets. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. There's a great promotional schedule for 2017, and we're going to unveil it in about a week or so here at spring training. In fact, March 18th to be exact, which is 8 days after Ben Davis turned 40. And a lot of surprises that day. And some of the items, we've gotten a sneak peek down in our office. And there's some new ones that you've never seen before. So we're looking forward to that. Those folks thought the kiss cam was going on. That happens a lot.
Is that Gronk?
You know, Tom, there's one of those items
whoa.
particularly good for Ben Davis.
Oh, yeah, there is.
It's got two hands and a couple bells on it. I'm going to wake you up in the morning.
Tommy Joseph with a single to left field. And Tommy is 2 for 2. And Cam Perkins is coming up.
Greg, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I know you don't.
You know who knows?
You don't own one right now.
You know who knows is Chris Ware, because Murph and I said it and left the room today. It went off while he was sitting there. It's an alarm clock, by the way.
Yeah. We're going to get you one of those, Ben.
Philly Fanatic alarm clock. Which is an outstanding giveaway. Although knowing Ben, Murph, he's going to need not only that alarm clock, but maybe set a second one just in case, you know.
Does that have a snooze on it?
It does not.
It does not.
Oh, that's why you need a second one.
Knowing Ben, he's going to need help setting the alarm clock.
Touche.
Matt Marsh, 38 games last year in the minor leagues. Pitching here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Cam Perkins takes low. It's 1-0. I think parents all across the Delaware Valley are going to enjoy that alarm clock. One and two, pretty good hook. Over toward the left side. And they'll get the runner at first base as Perkins is retired by Torres. And one away for Daniel Nava.
Nava batting from the first time from the left side today.
He tapped one back to the mound his first time up. And a chance to potentially drive in a run here, which has been hard to do this afternoon. Phillies have left 15 hitless with runners in scoring position. At the knees, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And a liner to left field. And it's run down by Reeves. And there are 2 outs.
Nice piece of hitting there by Nava.
Yeah, it's a little unlucky.
Yep.
And here's Nick Williams. Popped out his first time up.
It's just hard to believe the Phillies with the 8 walks today. No runs scored. That's just living dangerously by the Yankees.
Bit low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to Williams. No one gets away from the catcher. And over to third base goes Tommy Joseph. And it went behind the screen, so it's technically out of play. So Tommy gets that 1 bag. Higashioka had a little tough time. Somebody's got a friend. Look at the bird looking under the umbrella, saying, "Hey, do you got anything under there?" It's outstanding.
Is that a raven or a crow?
To the right side. And Williams is retired, and the Phils leave one over third base. So we've played 8 innings this afternoon. 16 runners left on base. We'll head to the 9th. He gone. Phillies Spring Pass, 11 games for just $50. Get access to every Phillies regular season home game in the month of April, excluding opening day. Tickets are delivered digitally to your mobile device via MLB.com ballpark app. Seating locations will vary game to game. For details, go to Phillies.com/springpass. Top of the 9th inning, it's 5-0 Yankees on top, and Joely Rodriguez will continue on the mound for the Phillies. Phillies have kind of broken things up today. What I mean by that is that the starter went 3 1/3, then Adam Morgan went 2 2/3, then Garcia went an inning and 2/3, and now Joely Rodriguez is going to try to go more than an inning.
And that should add up to 9.
That should add up to 9. Thank you, Ben. As Mateo leads it off. No balls and 2 strikes. This was not the way Rodriguez was throwing after the Phillies acquired him from the Pirates. I mean, his arm is alive right now.
Electric.
Strike 3, right at the knees. I mean, that's 3 pitches along the black. One away here in the top of the 9th. And here's Rob Refsnyder.
Just Payne here. Hannigan does a nice job of presenting that pitch to Nick Lenson, home umpire. Whether it's called a ball or a strike, it's a good spot. 0-2.
Refsnyder takes a little high, and it's 1-0. Balls and 1 strike. Fastball right between the legs of Hannigan. Phillies tomorrow will be in Dunedin to take on the Blue Jays, and then they'll be back home here at Spectrum Field on Sunday against the Boston Red Sox, who are up from Fort Myers. All 4. Ref Snyder's aboard with a 1-out walk.
First year without Big Papi. Those Red Sox.
It's going to be a tough bat to fill in,
especially after the year he had.
Really. By the way, James Reeves, who is listed as number 70 on the Yankees roster, he is not here wearing number 70. That is Rashad Crawford. Outside to Crawford. See, they've given out so many numbers, the Yankees, they got to have somebody double it up. Crawford last year, 5 homers and a .264 average in the minor leagues. One ball and 1 strike. And a liner out to short, caught by Valentin, and they double up Ref Snyder. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Time for the bottom of the 9th. The Phils trailing it 5-0. Well, it's last chance for the Phillies, who have out-hit the Yankees 8-6. The Yankees, though, have 2 home runs, a solo shot by Aaron Judge in the first inning, a 3-run home run by Chase Headley. And the Phillies offensively, well, they've struggled today. They've left 16 runners on base. So now as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's their last opportunity, and Ryan Hannigan will lead things off. And Matt Marsh will get set to pitch for the 2nd inning for the Yankees. Chad Green started. He went 2. He walked 3. Phillies have walked 8 times today. So here's Ryan Hannigan to start things off. Hannigan has reached on an error, and he has been one of those guys that has walked. It'll be Hannigan and then Rhys Hoskins. Those are the first 2 hitters scheduled for the Phillies. Then Hector Gomez. Phillies came in 6-6-2 this spring. The Yankees 11-3. No balls and 1 strike.
Curveball there.
Upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He was late and fooled on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And there's one away.
I think Ryan's looking for that big curveball we saw earlier in the event.
Well, Rhys Hoskins singled his last time up. The ball sharply to left field. It's been great to see the Phillies get base runners on. It's just been unfortunate that they have not been able to cross the plate. They're hitless with runners in scoring position today. Up until the last few days, they had been averaging about 7 runs a game. There's a liner to left field. Rhys Hoskins has his second hit. That one's going to go all the way to the wall, and Hoskins on his way to second base. A 1-out double. That's right, Rhys. 2 hits, a 2-base hit. Deuce is wild.
Loud noises. I like his leg kick and the fact that he gets it done so early. Blisters that ball down the left field line. Such a crisp sound off his bat.
Well, Gomez struck out his first time up. Let's see what he does here in the second AB. He fouls that off the mask of the catcher. It's 0-1. That is a mile high, and Tejada's over at third base in foul territory. He's got it for the second out. And Valentin will come up with 2 outs and a runner at second base. That almost looked like that would be termed a pitch that Gomez just missed, because it, you know, it was a breaking ball, but it looked like it broke right to where he would want it to be as far as his swing plane goes.
I think he saw it, he recognized it, he saw it, and overswung.
Oh yeah.
Been there. Sometimes you get a pitch, you recognize it, it's a hanger, and you just realize I can hit this ball a mile, and you overswing. Sometimes you end up jamming yourself. Sometimes you just hit the bottom of it like that because you start uppercutting.
0-2 as Valentin fouls it back to the screen. Runner leads off second base. Swing and a miss. He got him, and the ball game is over. Well, the Phillies have had base runners in every inning here this afternoon, but unable to pick up a hit with a runner in scoring position. So they lose today by a final score of 5-0. They leave 17 men on base against a Yankees ball club that had 2 home runs and now have won 12 games this spring. 5-0 the final score. The Yankees win it. We'll take a break and be back to wrap things up right after this.